Welcome to Cyber House Party Room 404. So you've seen me do the whole mask thing with the Halloween edition. You saw Santa replace me. Then we come to the Easter edition. Now, when Sean Atkinson said you should do it in a bunny outfit, I think him and I maybe crossed our wires because I was thinking Bugs Bunny. Sean, on the other hand, sent me something which all I can describe it was Hugh Hefner-esque. Yeah, I'm not wearing that outfit, and if you were hoping to see it, I'm really sorry if I bitterly disappointed you. Some things are best left to your own imagination. Speaking of which, we have 6 powerhouses of cyber tonight. We have got the best. We have 5 powerhouses of cyber. And Sean's back. I'm so sorry. It wasn't me. He escaped. Wasn't me. So, how's it going to work tonight? Well, it's going to work like this. I'll intro them, play a video, then I'll outro them and say, I think that's a bad idea, or I think it's a good idea. All you have to do is in the chat window somewhere, all you have to do is if you agree and this is a terrible idea that they're talking about, you should say, put into room 404. If you think it's a fantastic idea, it needs to be saved. What you have to do is save from room 404. If only our day jobs were that easy, hey? So, on with the show. First up is Sophia McCall, the one and only. She's here! Yay! And the crowd went wild.
So my biggest pet peeve in cybersecurity is the myth that you have to be technical to work in this industry. This is absolutely diabolical because that is definitely not the case. There's this sort of stigma that you have to be an uber geek that thinks in binary to work in cybersecurity, but you couldn't be further from the truth. If you are technical, that's absolutely fine. There is jobs for you, but there's such a wide variety of roles in cybersecurity that you can work in that you don't necessarily have to be technical in. So this whole kind of myth and stigma that you have to be technical to work in cybersecurity really needs to be gone because it's scaring people off.
Sophia McCall, security queen, the one and only. I know what you're all saying. I mean, legend status. How do you go from that? You've got to see it come yet. So, the myth that you have to be a techie. I agree that actually there's a lot of myth around what you have to be to be a cyberist, and a techie is definitely a big old myth that we need to get rid of. We don't care really whether you are a techie or not. Realistically, I mean, Sean can be in cyber. Anyone's welcome. So let us put into room 404 the myth that you have to be a techie because it's scaring everybody off. Well done, Sophia. Fabulous start. Hold on to your Easter eggs. Hold on to the Lindor. Put the cream eggs to one side for 1 second. Guess who's next? No, not in with the glasses. No, not her. No, not the one with the hair. No. It's Tommy Ballin. Tommy Ballin of all people. Told you, pulling all the stops out this Easter. Now, you ready for this one? This is gonna rock.
I'd like to put exclamation marks inside room 404. Well, not actually exclamation marks, but complex passwords. See, my problem with complex passwords is the fact that no matter how good a password might be, users are just fundamentally unable to manage their passwords well, and we know this. We know that this leads to breaches all the time. What we also know is that biometrics now start to work. Certificates for identity are available, and pretty much everybody is capable of receiving a second factor authentication token directly to their phone. So can we please give up the argument about whether a number is important, a capital letter is important, or maybe a full sentence is important, and just acknowledge the fact that an exclamation mark is never going to be the deciding factor in whether an APT group gets access to your organization.
See, that's a tough one, isn't it, Tommy? Because For the non-techies out there who've had 10 years of our lot going, hey, you need long, strong passwords. They need to be uppercase, lowercase, with numbers in it, and an exclamation mark. See, that's all we've told them for the last 10 years. So if we now turn around and say, oh, the exclamation mark doesn't mean anything, they'll probably not believe anything we say. But equally, for me, your argument was made in your last sentence. No exclamation mark is going to stop an APT. And for that reason, I think you're right. We need to get rid of the exclamation mark story. And we need to put it into room 404. Well done, Tommy. That was a really tough one to call. And I hope the chat's got a little bit wild about that one, because that was a hard one to shout out, that one. Well done. Okay, so we've just had Tommy Ballin. So how do you follow him? The answer is Amy Stokes Waters. That's how you follow it. So Amy, what would you like to rescue from room 404 or put into room 404?
Okay, so the thing that I would like to throw into Cyber Room 404 is boring LinkedIn content. In cybersecurity, we literally work in the sexiest and most exciting area of IT. We are basically the rock stars of the IT world. It's not like we're system admins who have literally got nothing interesting to do all day. Sorry, system admins. So please, for the love of God, stop putting out bland, monotonous videos of yourself in a shirt and tie, magnolia background at the ready, droning on and on and on about password managers. I mean, to be fair, well done for putting yourself out there on a video. Seriously, it's quite a difficult thing to do, and it's definitely not for everyone. But please, try and inject some personality into it. I'm sure underneath that corporate beige exterior, there's got to be some semblance of creativity that can kind of make talking about passwords a little bit more interesting. And if it can, pick a different topic. But please, for the love of God, don't make me sit through another cyber snooze fest.
You know, I love doing this show for some. I have no idea how many of these that have been recorded and not recorded, and all the ones I've done on the sides and all this. I have no idea how many I've done. But the reason I love this show so much is when you get someone like Amy who comes on and just says it the way it is. You're absolutely bob on. And you know what? Lockdown created some of the worst content I have ever seen. And yes, point the finger of blame and all the rest of it. But I've got to say, Amy, you are 100% nailed on with that. So I'm going to give you a tip, which has come from my child. Well, one of my 3 children anyway. I've got a piece of paper in front of me, and this is what they would like you to do. T, is it true? Before you put content out, check, is it right? Is it true? H, is it helpful? Or are you just putting it out there for your own blinking ego? I, is it inspiring? Amy, you're there. You're in the I. Yeah, don't put it out if it's going to be boring. You're not going to inspire anyone. Even your mother would probably turn around and say, take it off. N, is it necessary? Now, this is what a lot of people get guilty of. I've got to put my content out. I've got to put 2 tweets a day out. I've got to have my... No, you don't. No, you don't. Because no one reads it when you do that much. And K, this is the important one for most of you out there. Is it kind? Or are you just going to victim bash? And we've had this in previous 404s. Think. THINK. True, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind. Before you put any content out, make sure you get all 5 of them. Not 4, 5. Amy, bravo. That whole concept of the dullest content we've ever seen can go straight into room 404. Getting a bit crowded in there now, isn't it? Long-time personal friend of mine, person who's won awards for speaking on stage, cyber hero that most of you won't even know out there because they fight in the shadows and they fight quietly in the background. I cannot say how privileged I am to have Colette Weston on next. It keeps getting better. This is going to be awesome. Can't wait.
Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologise for this interruption. I thought we could mark this April 1st by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect even now orders are being shouted into telephones and men with guns will soon be on their way. Why? Because whilst the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with cybersecurity, isn't there? Fear, uncertainty and doubt. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? Social engineering, ransomware, phishing. There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your systems. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned into a doom-monger, seen by the company as a necessary evil. You were promised order, peace, and all that was demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Tonight I seek to end that silence. Tonight I wish to place cybersecurity's bad image problem into room 404. My hope is to remind the world that fairness, justice and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So, if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of FUD remain unknown to you, then I would suggest you allow the 1st of April to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I would ask you to stand beside me, and together we shall give them a room 404 that shall never, ever be forgot.
What do you mean cybersecurity's got a scary image? Oh wait, I'm not wearing my hoodie. Is that what it is? Yeah, I think you're right. We spent too long in the shadows wearing our crazy masks and our hoodies and portraying the image in some cases. You don't need to wear a hoodie to be on our industry. You've seen that hashtag too many times on Twitter. But I think we've got a big image problem ahead of us. We now need to start thinking about how we present ourselves to the real world. And we need to start with our own companies and organizations and our families to start with. We're not some crazy weirdo with a, what is it Donald Trump called us? 400-pound gorillas in our mother's basements. That's not all of us. 390 pounds, but not 400. And, the stereotypical white male is gone, as we can see from room 404. We are fighting a good cause, which is slowly being won. We have got greater diversity in our industry. We have people who don't wear hoodies every day. We have a more positive image, but there's a hell of a lot of work still to be done. I don't think Mr. Robot helped, but hey, it was a good TV series, to be fair. But yeah, for sure, I massively agree with you, Colette. The negative image of cybersecurity should be put straight into room 404. And I put that with a very minor caveat. Dear marketing departments, stop making up marketing BS words to sell vaporware and snake oil, and instead take your security people and turn them into a professional that can stand on a stage, that has a voice and has an ability to be able to articulate themselves. You have the skill sets in marketing departments. That's what you're paid to do. Can you train a few more people to do it then? That would be lovely. Thank you very much, Colette. Straight into room 404. Chock-a-block tonight. Wowzers. I'm so sorry. I tried my hardest and I've let you all down. Every one of you, even you who's not even concentrating because you're in the middle of a meeting listening to this. I put it off as long as I possibly could. And it upsets me to say it, but next up is Sean Atkinson. I'm sorry. Christine Smalley, I tried my hardest to keep him in room 404, but I've let you all down, and I'm sorry.
So my nomination for Cyber Room 404 probably should be lockdown haircuts, but I'm going to go with something a little bit more, hopefully, creative. And it's awful salespeople that sell unicorns, fairy dust, and rock and roll shit, basically. You know the ones. The robots. The ones that think they can buy a Bentley or a Lamborghini. the ones that bang the drum about any product that they sell and it's a silver bullet, the ones that are lying, the ambulance chasers, while someone's fighting a fire, where actually I think what we should be doing is building relationships. And for the ones that can't do that, get on your bike.
You know what, he does try, doesn't he? He tries really hard. I mean, his camera's out of focus. It's misty like he's stood in the London fog from the 1800s. He hasn't cleaned up the room before he tries to do it. He's still wearing his jumper that I think he's found from wherever. God bless you, Sean. You do try. You try really hard. You fail spectacularly, but you do try. So, everyone in the chat right now, wherever the chat is, can we all agree to put Sean back into room 404, please? Please? Just get rid of him once and for all and maybe put a bigger lock on it. We could blockchain on him and leave him in there behind the blockchain. I mean, he comes out with a fair point about bad salespeople. I mean, I've been to the conferences probably as much as you lot have, with the brown pointy shoes and skin tight trousers. Those are my favourite ones, actually. I always wonder how they can stand for so long on a stand. And then my other one is the slightly portly gentleman with his navy blue suit, ultra thin tie. It's atoms thin. How did he do it? Just, you know what? I have been a sales guy, and for my sins, I wear that badge with a little pride, but because I was, I wasn't bad. I was definitely not a really bad sales guy, not like Sean's described there. And I think we all know the bad sales guys. So on this one very rare occasion, Sean, I agree with you. Please, at some point, delete this out the edit. I think bad salespeople should go into room 404. On one caveat, we've got to teach them how to be good salespeople. Show them what relationship building is. That selling by LinkedIn comments doesn't work. Sending me unauthorized sales messages on LinkedIn. No, I'm not triggered at all. But please, just give it up. Salespeople out there, just give it up. If you think that all of these are good tactics, learn, start again. Because at the moment, you're in room 404. And I've just agreed with Sean. Okay, I'm going to square with you all. I am now in full fanboy mode. I mean, full fanboy mode. This next person is just a hero. There's no other way to describe Nero Jones. There's none. I mean, I can't think of anyone who fights harder than Nero Jones. So I am scared witless as to what she's going to come out with. Because if I disagree, whoa, that'll be hell on earth. So here we go. Nero Jones, what would you like to put in or save from room 404?
Thank God for the Cyber House Party room 404. I have a pretty good use for it. The PCI DSS non-compliance fees. Please put them straight in there. They are totally toxic. According to Verizon, PCI DSS compliance has been going down steadily since 2017. Non-compliance fines don't improve compliance. In this pandemic era, they only serve to burden SMEs further than they already are, and they border on the unethical. Instead, acquirers should make it easy for merchants to become more secure, and there are many ways to do that. Somehow, the intent of this very good standard, which is to protect the card payments ecosystem from fraud, has been lost over the years through questionable enforcement practices that haven't moved on with the times. Ditch them. Ditch the PCI DSS non-compliance fees.
You see, you get the experts on and this is what you get. I mean, that was just a legend or what? So yeah, she's absolutely bob on. But I'm going to take GDPR fines as well. So you get breached, your stock value's down, so you're losing hemorrhaging millions there. Your staff's working 24/7, so you're paying overtime and all the rest of it there. You're also paying overpriced security consultants to come in and tell you what you already knew. So you're hemorrhaging cash there. Oh, while you're at it, here's your fine. I mean, talk about, kicking someone when they're down. Fines don't work. How many times do we say stick and carrot? Stick doesn't work, carrot works. So do we get rid of fines? I mean, what's the alternative? All the other costs you've just got and you damage to your brand and reputation, isn't that bad enough? So she has got a fantastic point. I mean, we do have to start looking at what the alternative looks like. How else do we incentivize people apart from the bottom line? But actually, Bob on point. I can't argue with it. Neera Jones, you're going to put into room 404 PCI DSS fines. Fabulous. Well done. There we go. Another room 404 in the bag. That was brilliant. Loved it. What an absolute show that was. So let's start with 2 points that we need to do. Number one, the reason why we do room 404, and we've come back 4 times now doing this, 5 times, plus all the other ones, is to drive people back to the Cyber House Party website to hit the donate button to our amazing charities that we support. During these turbulent times that we've got at the moment, any penny that you can spare, I don't care if it's 50p or 50 quid, or if you're a corporate sponsor and you can open the marketing budget you didn't spend last year, please, the bigger the donation, the more that you'll support people out there who are in worse situations than we're in. So if you can, spend a moment, go to the donation page, and let's get some money into those fantastic charities. The second point is obviously to say a massive thank you to our stars of the show this time, the guests who have been stunning with their videos. Let's start off with Sophia McCall. Brilliant. Sophia, you and I are long overdue a beer and a chat. So can't wait for that to happen in the whole COVID world, but maybe from 2 meters we can have a beer. Tommy Ballin, as usual. Second time you've been on, Tommy. But yeah, absolutely deserved back on the show. Amy Stokes-Waters, another new entrant onto the Cyber Room 404 floor. But yeah, I think you and I could spend a long time talking about your topic. Colette, scaring us all, and from them and from me, I thank you very much for your intro. But you're right, this scary image of cyber needs to disappear. We're not all scary. Well, some of us are, but Sean hopefully be left in room 404 after this, so it won't be as scary. Speaking of which, up comes Sean. Yeah, I know, it's Easter. I can be nice to him once in a year. I know, I've got a nice side to me, really. Sean, to you and the rest of the crew who puts on Cyber House Party, can I just say a personal thank you? The thousands we've raised for this through this channel has just been huge. And from me personally, I just want to say a massive thank you, Sean, to you and the rest of the crew. But finally, Neera Jones. I mean, come on. What a one to go out on. Brilliant. Neera, so proud to have had you on the show. Long overdue again for a glass of wine or 3. But what an absolute powerhouse of people this time, including Sean. I'll be nice. Go on, I'll be nice. So go to the chat right now. I want you to tell me, out of those 6 people, who's your favourite? Who was the one that stood out the most? All you have to do is put their name in. Was it Sophia? Was it Tommy? Was it Amy? Was it Sean? Was it Neera? Was it me? But no, seriously, put it in the chat now. Let's find who you thought was the most deserving case out there. And on behalf of me, Stuart Coulson, the host of Room 404, what a pleasure it's been. And I hope to see you all soon in some capacity, whether it's having a beer in a pub somewhere, or whether it's at a conference floor, or whether it's on another Room 404.